on it, leave a comment or anything. Hey everyone, this is something that's been racking my mind and my husband's brain for months. He's a skeptic. I'm a believer. We live in an old mining town. I've told my husband just because our house isn't old doesn't mean the land we live on isn't. And weird things have happened in our house. I've heard my husband come home from work when he hasn't. Things have been moved. For example, he and I ripped the living room apart looking for the baby monitor and TV remote, which were nowhere to be found. Next morning, they were both sitting perfectly side by side on the couch. Our laundry dryer door opened and slammed shut on its own. Why is it always the TV controls and the baby monitors that act weird? What is it with these digital things that always seem to vanish? Like I said, my husband is somewhat a skeptic, but this one got him. A couple months ago, we were laying in bed and heard tapping on the inside of our closet door. I mean full-on tapping on the inside of the closet door. I mean full-on tapping. It was 4 taps, then a pause, then 2 more. We both looked at each other, eyes wide open the whole time, and he mouthed, "What the F was that?" We stayed up watching happy movies trying to forget it. What is a happy movie though? Next morning, we were playing with our boys, and he finally admitted, "Okay, I can't explain that. What was that?" And I was like, "I don't know. I've never heard that." Then it clicked. I come from a strong military background on my dad's side. So I said, "What would that be in Morse code?" Grabbed my phone and looked it up and said 4 dots is H and 2 is I. Then my face dropped. Eyes like saucers. And I looked at my husband and said, "Oh my God, that spells hi." Hi. You guys, I mean holy smokes. I don't feel threatened. I don't feel scared. But it's definitely a little bit eerie. What do you think? I think that is awesome. The first comment says my grandfather was a signal corps in the Navy, and he contacted me after death with Morse. My grandmother heard it too. She spent an hour trying to figure out where it was coming from, the attic. She finally accepted it was him communicating. It was pretty emotional. I hope she got to see him when she passed. He died when my dad was 7-8, so she spent the rest of her life a widow. She was also the only semblance of a mother I ever had. Well, that was a sad comment. Keep us updated if there are any more messages. Yeah, for sure the spiritual posters should do that. What do you guys think? What are the odds that those taps spells high in Morse code? That is a very creepy incident. The next story from the same subreddit is titled My Encounter with a Mocker, M-O-C-K-E-R. During high school, I had my first serious boyfriend of 4 years, Chris. His family moved here from Mexico and mainly spoke Spanish. This matters because his family culture was rich, and I became very close with his mother and siblings who would tell me all sorts of legends. While we dated, tons of strange things happened, but I'll never forget this. We were FaceTiming each other. He was at his family's house, and I was at my mom and I's apartment. I don't think that's how you say it. Mid-conversation, Chris's mom yelled his name really loudly, as if calling him over, which I've never seen her do a lot when I was over. His face turned pale, and I saw him go to look out the window. He said, "My mom isn't home." His face was dark and knowing, as if this happened before. While still on FaceTime, his little sister, Tita, 6 at the time, came up and asked him why he called her over, followed by his youngest brother, Tito, as if he'd been called by Tita. I have more stories specifically about this house, but from what I was told, it was a bit of a family thing. Although we are broken up, I'm still close with the entire family and feel like asking more about it. Interesting, this was posted 3 years ago, and they called it a mocker. But nowadays, everyone's calling them mimics. This next one is from glitchinthematrix, titled Just Found This Subreddit. Guess I'll toss my own glitch here. So this happened some 6 or so years ago, maybe 8 at most. At the time, I worked pretty far from home, a couple towns over. Why work so far from home? They were hiring, and it was the only job I was able to secure that used my degree and paid more than stocking shelves at Sam's Club. Once I got off the highway, my commute took me through several school zones. So if I left home too late, my commute with tollway and hallway combined went from 45-ish minutes to an hour and 30 minutes at the absolute least. So in order to get to work on time, I'd leave at ungodly in the morning and get there by 2 goddamn early, purely so I wouldn't be stuck in school zone hell. Background cassette adapter I used to listen to stuff from my phone on the car's speakers is on the fritz, so I'm not listening to what little music I listen to, or to whatever audiobook holds my fancy, so he's not listening to anything, or she. I'm sitting there at the red light, thinking about nothing. There are no other cars on the road. The only lights are the street lights, several of which are flickering, a few of which are out. No noise, but the sound of my car idling. The light turns green. I looked right. The street was empty. I looked left. Nothing. I looked forward and didn't take my foot off the brake. I waited a few seconds and I genuinely don't remember if I said this out loud or merely thought of it. I said, I wonder why I'm not driving. At that exact moment, a muscle car roars through there's some misspellings. I don't know, but I think they meant they roars. The muscle car, what is a muscle car? Roars through the red light at match. I don't understand these slangs. Its tires squeal like pills on fire as it makes a turn somewhere to my left, and the sound of the car quickly fading. I sat there again, not sure if I said it out loud. Ah, that's why. I then put my foot on the gas and sedately took off. I drive like an old man because cars are expensive and money is tight. Counting the seconds for how long it would have taken me to get to the spot where Mr. Late for something would have hit me, and it was the exact length time it took for the light to turn green, for me to look to the sides, and for the car to fly through the red light. Well, do you guys think that's a glitch? Or is that us having more senses that we think we do? I mean, he didn't see it, he didn't hear it, but he felt that something was coming. What would it have been? The next from subreddit Paranormal. The title simply says, I have a ghost story. When I was 17, I had the most horrifying 3-ish months of my life. Didn't we all? My mom asked me one day if I was angry when I'd come home because she kept hearing the basement door slam. My room was in the basement at the time. I didn't think anything of it. Maybe I did slam the door hard on accident. Got to later that night. I'm playing some game on the computer in the living room, listening to music. My dad sleep on the couch behind me. My mom fast sleep as well in their bedroom. I hear the basement door open and slam. I take my earbud out and listen. My first thought was my sister randomly came home from college. Yet that was weird, as it was like 12:30 a.m. I'm listening and I hear the door open and slam again. The door handle had a very distinct sound when it turned. I hear both, and I get up and begin to wake my dad up. I say, Dad, someone's breaking into the house. He kind of brushes me away and mumbles. And the door opens and slams again. He realizes I'm serious. He wakes up. I hand him the fire poker, and I have the fire shovel, and we start to search the house. We search downstairs to find no one. Doors were locked, windows closed. No one was there. We both kinda shrugged and went back upstairs. From there, it starts to get even weirder and more unexplained. It's a rather long story that I'm happy to share if anyone is interested. What does the comment says? A commenter says, how long ago did this happen? Based on the rest of your stories, this definitely sounds like a mimic and demonic activity. I thought it sounded like residual energy until you described the other happenings. Interesting stuff. Let's read another one from the same subreddit. Titled, I Met the Devil Tonight. So for context, I work in a receiving department at a warehouse. So I usually meet all types of truckers throughout the day when they drop off shipments. The security guard I work with is my best friend's grandma, who is very religious. Today I'm sitting there watching the clock go by as slow as it ever has. What bullshitting me with the security guard? But I'll call her Mrs. D. My day usually consists of talking with her about life and just general things going on in the news, etc. We have a certain routine when truckers come in. She takes all their info down: license, company name, trailer number, all that good stuff, while I enter the paperwork into my computer. While I'm doing that, Mrs. D usually flirts with the truckers. We small talk with them, whatever. Today we had a guy come in who neither of us has seen before. This guy was different though. I know it's corny to say, but he had this dark aura to him. He stood at least 6'6" and 300 pounds. I said hello to the man, no response, which isn't really surprising as a lot of truckers are assholes. He kept his head down, very baggy stained hoodie up, and trucker hat sat real low, covering any attempt at eye contact I tried to make. He walked in, and it was weird. Mrs. D got very lightheaded to was having a medical emergency or what. Mrs. D then gets up, screaming about his evil, and starts crying hysterically. I had no idea what she was talking about, as she's 76 years old, so she kind of rambles sometimes. As I'm writing down this guy's information, which Mrs. D usually does, this guy, without saying a word to me beforehand, looks up at me with pitch black eyes, no color, no emotion, just looked soulless. He says to me, "You know, I've killed before, and I'm going to do it again." The tone in his voice is in line anything I've ever heard before. He then snatched his ID from the table. I say it on to copy his info, and left. Didn't drop off any load, nothing. The security officers tried to pull the license plate from his truck, and there wasn't one. As I was writing this about 2 hours ago, Mrs. D came back, still very hysterical, and hugged me and told me she's quitting. She grabbed all her stuff and left. This guy didn't feel human. I feel I truly met the devil himself today. Edit. The amount of hate I got in my DMs is crazy for posting my experience. Interesting. Why do you think this poster got hate for this story? So I wonder if this man was truly a killer and that's why he felt evil, or does she think he was literally the devil himself? The next one is from subreddit glitchinthematrix, titled "We Could See What We Shouldn't Have Seen." This happened a long time ago. Me and Joe were driving down a busy street late one night, like 1 a.m., coming up on a 4-way intersection where the stoplights were flashing. We had flashing yellow and the other direction was red. Off to our right, we could see another car coming from a good block away, and I say, "I don't think that guy's going to stop." Joe says, "That guy's not going to stop." As we had this conversation, I come to stop at the intersection. As the other car blows through the red light, we both say, "He didn't stop." Then we continue on our way to the restaurant. The next night we are doing the exact same thing, going down the exact same route. Now it occurs to me, "Joe, we shouldn't have been able to see that car last night. All those houses are in the way. You see, we are driving through a mostly residential neighborhood with fences and not any large gaps between the houses. For years, every night, every time I drove through that intersection, I tried to figure out exactly how we saw the other car that night, and it's impossible. You can't even see their headlights because of all the trees. Someone was watching over us that day." is an interesting story, a lot of similar ones. While driving, it seems all the senses of humans come to help while a driving accident is about to happen. Or maybe it is supernatural. What do you think? Let's read another story, this one from subreddit Paranormal Encounters, titled I'm Afraid. For context, me and my boyfriend are both somewhat able to see things, and I usually jump on my trampoline even till late in the evening, which is where I met her. On trampoline. A young girl, teen or maybe young adult, who normally gives me the feeling I have to get into my house now. And I go there and feel better. I haven't seen her in a while, so yesterday around 8:30, me and my boyfriend and two of our friends were by a bench. Me and a friend, we will call him V, were standing, and my BF and friend number 2O were on the bench. Behind the bench was some trees and houses behind those trees. We were laughing and joking, and I suddenly got a bad feeling. I look over the trees, and she's standing there, looking in a different way than normal, more serious than ever. Then she gets all in my face and says, leave this place, leave now. I have never heard her talk before. I try to ignore her. That's what I normally do when I see things. But I gotta say, her empty, void-like eyes staring into mine, not something I wanted all night. Anyway, so she does this for a while, and I know I gotta leave. Then V said, do any of you guys wanna head back? And I take it as my cue. Oh, and my BF say no, and I mention I do. They ask why, and I lied and said I just didn't like it, but it's cool if they wanna stay. We end up walking back a little later. My BF starts asking if we trust. My BF starts asking if we trust our gut. While we walk, my BF stops. He's not feeling good. He gets worse, and I know he's feeling it too. We all agree something is very, very wrong and start to hurry home. We ignore all shortcuts because they made us feel worse, and I could hear her saying no and leave again and again and again. We decide to walk, like me in the front, then my BF, and oh, then we ended up running in the end. Right now we are sitting in O's living room. We just talked. O didn't like the place or the vibes. We noticed a lot of crows. My BF feels sick. Yeah, I'm sorry, but this story seems like it was written by a 12-year-old, which is fine, but They're saying that they're literally seeing things. Like you're seeing a girl and it is starting to talk to you and your friends feel it too, like if this is real. This is truly, truly amazing. Another one is from subreddit Astral Projection, and it is titled, "My friend in a coma visited me while I was out at a bar with a friend. My friend was in a coma on Wednesday, June 12th, and woke up on June 15th. Her name is Zoe. She had an accident several years ago and now is in a wheelchair. Zoe has these medical episodes. They last for a couple of days, up to a month, where she goes to the hospital and I believe is in a coma-like state. I went out Friday, June 14th with my wife and our girlfriend. What? We drank a lot. We gambled at the bar. We can gamble using electronic machines like tablets. I won $599 and my friend won $14.75, and together we won $1,000 on pull tabs. Zoe came out of her coma the next day and texted me immediately that she has visited me at the bar. She said that she saw me with the two girls She said that she saw me with the two girls and that we drank a lot and won a bunch of money, and that my friend had a tattoo of a planet on her arm. All these things are true and happened. It still shocks me. I only wish I could have felt her presence. How long do people usually visit? And should I be able to sense Zoe's presence? Interesting story. Do you guys believe in astral projection? Let's see what the comments say. One of the comments say, stories like this have me convinced this phenomenon is real. Another one says, beautiful story. Thanks for sharing. You sir have one day internet today. Okay, that's a bit too much, don't you agree? Alright you guys, that is all the time that I have for tonight. I hope this far into the video you're already asleep and very, very lucid, and you're dreaming of all things peaceful and all things that you would want to experience. Thank you for listening.